Today we're going to talk about doing a little bit of turkey calling and duck calling. We had a lot of luck this year doing both, and we thought we'd just share some of what we knew with our friends so that maybe they could have some luck when they go hunting too. Daniel, let's talk a little bit about duck hunting.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're here in Arkansas. You want to call it the duck capital of the world, I guess you can, but where we're at here in Arkansas, it's a little bit harder than the duck capital of the world, I'll tell you that much. Really, what we're going to focus on today is more to the calling side of it, but you know, one thing that a hunter needs to know is duck hunting is down in this area, whether it's Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma, anywhere really in the South, Arkansas South. The ducks are going to be a lot more educated or smart or really know what they're looking at and know whether it's going to be real or not. So really, I mean, the first thing you're going to need to do is see if they're not going to come in. So you need to get that covered up. Second thing is you got your decoys. You need to make them look real as possible, whether it's the single decoy, the way it's, if it's painted good or not, or if it comes down to it, whether it's a single decoy itself, the way it looks, you can go all the way out to what the whole spread looks like. Whether you can always have too much decoys, you can have too little decoys. You can have the decoys in a wrong position. You know, if there's not enough motion, if there's too much motion. I don't really think that you can have too much motion, to tell you the truth, but you can always have not any motion at all, and if it's a calm day and you don't have any kind of moving kind of decoys, I mean, it's not going to be, the ducks don't just sit there on the water. You know, they're going to be swimming around, feeding, and all this kind of stuff. And then, after all that, you got your duck calling. There's lots of different kind of duck calls on the market. We've got 6 here. You've got 2 single reed duck calls. You've got a double reed acrylic. Then you got a double reed with a tuner hole. Then you just got a regular double reed, and then you've got a custom made double reed. You know, they can go range anywhere from plastic to wood and plastic, or you can go wood and acrylic, or you can go all acrylic. You can go all wood. You know, just you know, you can take all kinds of. I mean, there's tons and tons of duck calls out there that you can use, and you know, that's just kind of the 3 main points of duck hunting that you're really going to have to.
Yeah, basically when it comes to the duck call, you're just going to have to, you may have to buy a few even before you find one that fits your need.
Oh yeah.
What you really feel comfortable with. Isn't that what you think, RJ?
Yeah, it's all about the comfort and what you feel comfortable blowing.
Basically, like I think of it as a bed, pretty much. And you're going to sleep in one bed all the time. If you get into another bed, it's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, right.
Just like a duck call.
One thing about the decoys I'd like to touch on, just you know, there's times, you know, we put 3 dozen decoys in the water. There's times we put 5 decoys in the water. It really depends on the situation, and we need to point that out. That it depends on the situation, where you're hunting, the type of waters you're hunting in, whether it be a river or lake or even a little pond, or you know, the type of activity that you're seeing above. I like the upside down U formation myself, putting the ducks in the U formation, leaving a hole in the middle, giving them, you know, sitting where the wind's in my back, where the ducks are going to come in and land, and you know, they're basically going to be facing us when they land, and hopefully they're going to land in that honey hole that we've created in those decoys. And so far, that's pretty well the way we build our decoy spreads, and it worked real well, don't you think?
As long as the sun's not in our eyes.
As long as the sun's not in our eyes. That's a big kicker there. Well, Daniel, why don't you give us an example of some of the calls on these duck calls? Give, you know, feeder call, comeback call, just a quack. Just tell us a little bit about those calls.
Well, the first call I'm going to do is the comeback call. Probably one of the most common calls there is. You know, you always got the ducks circling around, so you're always trying to get them to pay attention to you and say, "Look, here I am." You know. So that's the first call I'm going to do is a comeback call.
Sounded good to me.
Sounded good to me, sounded good to me.
Sounded just like a comeback.
Sounds good like a comeback. What do you got next?
The second one we'll do is a feeder call. Different people have different kinds of uses for it, you know. So here we go.
Yeah, good. And then something we've used a lot this year that I've, you know, really started using more than we've ever had before. Just a single quack, like you say. By the time they get down here to Arkansas, and you know we're western Arkansas, we're not eastern Arkansas, where they call the duck capital. You know, we work for what we get, but we enjoy our sport. Just the simple little quack. Because everybody else is screaming and yelling away on their calls. You know, we've even heard duck hunters fairly close to us, you know, just roaring away on their calls. But, you know, giving them that simple quack, that's something they haven't heard. That's, you know, that doesn't sound like anything that's going on around them. That's different. So, hey, you know, they get some kind of a comfort zone built up with that, and that's worked real well this year. Good. One thing that a lot of people get wrong, and when I started duck hunting, you know, Brent, you know, and Chris and y'all had to help me out. There is one thing about putting too much high of a pitch to your duck call. It almost sounds like a squeal. You know, that dog calls, when you call, it's going to come from your diaphragm.
A lot from the diaphragm.
And you're actually saying the word do-it. That's the word I say. Some people say different things, but you know, do-it.
I really just grunt in my calls. I mean, just kind of like a, just kind of like that. I mean, that's just a regular quack, and then you kind of go from there.
RJ, how do you blow your calls? What's your way of doing it?
I like to grunt.
I want you to show us with that.
A small grunt, just straight from here and push up.
Yep, that's good. You got to practice this stuff. You can't just buy a call, go out in the woods and expect to do it. It takes time. It's like it's like learning to walk. You know, you crawl before you walk. This is basically, you buy your call, you read the instructions, you listen to the instructional CD. You learn to crawl before you walk, but it pays off.
Find the